I'm here with my buddy James Dixon, my the ultimate. I call it the ultimate motivator, but it's the absolute motivator. But James, you just came out the gym. This is one time a week that you do that, so you could just flex on people, but you don't really go there. You just hang out. How was the vibe experience for you?
Let me get it like this. The vibe experience, not only was it impactful, but what I love is the diversity, unlike anything else. If you go to something that's industry specific, we're all doing the same thing, it becomes just a measuring stick. Who can do what, who's done it longer, who knows who, and it becomes the popular table and the kids who are trying to come up and everyone trying to block them. But that's not the vibe. You see, the vibe is all based upon you have the best of every industry coming together, and the things that we can share, it just opens your mind, spirit, a whole concept to how do I do something better and at a higher level. And you learn it from someone else's perspective. And it just, everyone walked out of there with new relationships, with new concepts, and now they have connections that made them bigger and better.
Tell me about Keith, how he set the table. Like literally, like he,
Wow.
you know,
I want to say that this, what I love most about Keith is the fact that he easily could have just been one of those speakers or coaches that talks about, look what I've done in the past. But he didn't sit on what he did or what he's accomplished. Or 28 years ago, he was the top in an industry that no longer exists. It's like being the guy who was like, I own 25 blockbuster franchises. Well, if that's the case, man, you are busted completely. You live on the corner of a block. But what Keith did was he gave out of his present, and he was present, he was giving, he was loving, he was authentic, he was transparent. And those that came with him that are coached by him, you can see the difference in their lives.
and then we come into John Elston. This is the power of friendship. You and I were on a call last night that most of the time people aren't going to be on, right? So,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that later, but that stuff is coming. But then John Elston comes in, and how like it goes. This was the crazy thing. It went from this being not doing, and then most people would think if you added AI to that, it would actually conflict when it actually complemented. How did you feel about John Elston?
Let me tell you, John Elston, you might as well have brought in Elton John. He was a rock star. He was that, man. The guy got up, not only did he have swag and I mean the look of the brim, he switched brims of a hat, he went from a cap. But he looked good. But beyond looking good, he gave. So what we don't know about AI scares us. He made it non threatening, but then he also showed how to build a team out of it. He gave away stuff that you would have to pay a tremendous amount for, but he did so because it was the vibe. It was the connection, it was relationship. What I also love is that even after he gave so much and people were rushing to be around him, he stayed present, he was involved, he was a note taker when other people were speaking. He was making sure that everybody got to, if you wanted to meet with him, he was available. He stayed available. He gave knowledge, like how to train your AI, how to make it work for you. Took all the mystery out of it. People were like, man, I thought I was doing it right. He corrected a lot of wrongs and he did it in a loving way. John is a rock star.
Tell me about Baron Baptiste.
Baron, man. Baron is like bringing in Yoda, putting him in a fit form, let him do yoga, and bringing it in, and then letting him just unleash on people. And then after they kind of realize who it was you were with, you just go like, man, this was worth. If we were to go ahead and put this same team together and match it up against any other team that is charging people 15,000 for a week, or like a daily coaching session, all those things. I know people fly out to Florida, go to something that will be comparable, and they pay 100,000 to be in this this closed group mastermind to get that information. You gave that to them based on relationship and to give them an experience that will echo into the future. Baron Baptiste is a monster. And he came in there and he was so humble and so loving, but he gave and he got them to be present. And look at all the accolades of every one of the guys you had brought up. And then you look at it and it was like, man, it just kept getting higher and higher. So we had a leadoff man get us on base. And then, John stole all the bases. And then Barron comes in and says, load it up for a grand slam, man, because it was that impactful to everyone there.
Well, and then he's not going to talk about himself, but I will talk about him because Barry Bonds came to the plate in James Dixon, and there was not a person that their heart wasn't like out on the chair when we were done. There wasn't a person that wasn't able, like he knifed through all the stuff. And most of the time we come into a organization or we go to a conference and we have a bunch of stuff that's stopping us to be able to get to where we need to go. And what you did is you cut through all of that. You allowed them to be people. You took yourself and you created a presentation. I told you this, and I'll stand on it, man. Is I've never seen you at that level. And I've seen you at levels, like you're the best in the world, but you connected and you brought every single thing together and knocked it out of the park, man. Like it was masterful. You made everyone feel included. You connected everybody and you just elevated every single person.
Well, man, first of all, I'm humbled that you even say that. I was honored to be there with you, my brother, my friend, and to have somebody who has charted your journey from the beginning. And man, the way that things are going, watching you get over 1 million views, man, just the way things are rising off of, I see things that you're doing that are rising, and it's kind of like, man, you're the big ship that jumps in and raises everyone else's level, and I appreciate you for that. And because of that, everyone there was doing that for each other. Let's keep lifting people. So I had to bring my heart and service to the table because that's what this was about. Man, we people may not see it, but we opened in prayer as a team in the back. But it wasn't about us. It was about, man, we came to serve. And and there was none of the diva stuff of going up and like, how long before I'm on? 6 minutes, Dougie. For like, there people were like, when am I getting up? When's my mic time? Can I sell to these people? There was no setting people up to try to get something out of them. No one was being manipulated. We came, we gave, we served, and man, we poured out. And when people left there, man, I love how they didn't just flee the room. They stayed. There was a great intermission of hours between the day session and evening, and people stayed. They just networked. I was like, when's the last time you had an event end and people stay 3 hours afterward to network and they don't leave? They waited. And most of the time, the speakers, as soon as they're done, guys gotta go and take off, but not here. The experience was relationship oriented. It was based. Yeah, this changed the pace of things.
Well, I love you, man. I've got to run, but I do want to say that when we were
You
talking,
don't
yes.
run.
Oh, get out of
Sorry.
here. But I
Well,
tell you,
I gotta go.
I thought it was so cool, James, that when we were talking, because people came at us afterwards and we both talked about this, where they were like, oh, I could speak there. I could speak for you. I got all these speakers. And I was like, they don't understand that these weren't speakers that I brought in for the Vibe experience. These were my friends. Keith,
That's right.
very good friend of mine. John, very good friend of mine. Baron, very good friend of mine. James, one of my best friends in the world. Like, these are my friends. And it's like Biggie said, right? Go get your friends and I'll get my friends and we'll be friends. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Hey, by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't do this because this was really important. Hi, Auntie.
I love you, buddy. You're incredible,
Love
man.
you, man.
I'll see you soon, man.